Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel and to Unit 4 Flow of Controls, and this is the very last video of this particular unit, and the topic that we are going to cover right now is jumping statements. So jumping statements unconditionally transfer program control within a function, loop or block. You must have noticed that we used curly braces several times while we are writing switch statements or if statements, or whether we are writing down the loops, and whatever comes under those braces is called as a block, and those braces help us to define a block, and the group of statements that are encoded, or you can say that are grouped under that particular braces or set of braces, are known as block of a particular loop or perhaps a switch statement. So all these three jumping statement that you see in front of you, go to, continue and break, help us to manipulate with that particular block. They help us to break that block in three different ways, or three different they have separate effects on that particular block. And there is one more jumping statement that is return. We are not going to talk about it in this video, but we will be talking about it after we have completed the function. Okay, so let's go jump up to the definitions. So first of all, we have go to statement, and there is a warning for you guys. Go to statement is generally not advisable to use, okay, because it reduces the readability of the code, and sometimes it is very makes our work very complex while we are writing a long programs. Okay, reason I will be stating you, and the statement is used to alter the program execution sequence by transferring the control to some part of the program. So syntax says we need to define a label, just we need to write go to that particular label, and we need to write down the label somewhere in the code. It is something like a checkpoint. While we are playing games, we have several checkpoints, and if we want to get back or restart the game, we need to select a particular checkpoint and we start from there. Okay, so go to statement is something like that, and its name is very much self-explanatory. It's just instruct the compiler to go to the particular label, and then the compiler finds where the label is in the whole program, and then it searches that, yeah, there is the label, and then the execution of the program jumps directly to that label and continues from that only. Okay, secondly, we have continue statement. So continue statement doesn't do much. It shifts the control of flow, that should be of flow, to the increment slash decrement of the conditional expressions. So you must have learned about the loops, and there is a condition, or you can say that test condition in all the three loops, and you can see in here and here also we all have this type of test condition. So what continue statement do, it's directly jumps, or you can say it directly shifts the flow of control to that particular section, or to the increment section, and or the decrement section, or to the conditional section. If we are talking about for loop, then it shifts the control to the increment decrement statement, and if we are talking about do while and while loop, it shifts the control to the condition expression statement. Okay, and we are going to, if you are confused what I just said, just don't need to worry, just right now understand what I'm trying to say, and I will be writing a program that will make things more clear. Then we have break statement. So break statement, just like its name says, it helps us to break that particular block. We just break out from that particular block. So it terminates the block slash loop in which it is present. So we have used break in switch statement, and we noticed that after a particular section, or you can say a particular case is been triggered, the next case is not executed, because we just break out of the switch statement itself, or the switch block itself. And breaks help us to just break the loop, or you can say break the particular block. We just directly jump out from that block, or you can say we just jumps to the very end point of the block. It just help us to break things. Okay, and let's now program all these three things. So here I have a loop, and it iterates 4 times, sorry 5 times, you can say 0 to 4, and I have printed the I, and this is the output. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use continue statement after in the uh, block of for loop itself. So I'm going to write continue, and here we have continue, and you will notice nothing will happen or nothing will change in the output. So build was successful, and you can see nothing was changed because after this execution of this particular statement, the as soon as the continue statement was triggered, the flow of control shifted to the increment statement, and this was done earlier also. Without continue statement also, the flow of control would have shifted to plus plus I statement itself only. So now what I'm going to do to show you it is actually working, I'm going to write printf, and I'm just going to simply copy this statement. Okay, and I just pasted it. I'm just commenting out the continue for now, and I'm going to print, or you can say that run the program now. And you can see I have printed all the statement twice this time, 0 0 1 1 2 2 3 3 and 4 4. And I'm going to differentiate first and the second by a colon now. I'm adding a colon and just run the program again, and you can see 1 0 and colon 0 1 and colon 1 and so on we have. So next up we have, I'm going to uncomment the continue statement and let's just run the program. So you can see a warning here, the code will never be executed. This is the warning that we are getting in your case, in your compiler or in your IDEs. This warning may not occur because Xcode is very good at catching these things. Okay, so you can see here the colon numbers are not being executed, or you can say not been printed, because this statement was never executed, because as soon as the continue was triggered, the flow of control shifted to the increment statement and it never get a chance to be get executed. Okay, so this was all about continue statement. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write down a break statement after all this, break, and we have done with it, and I'm going to write, or you can say run the program. So you can see we have printed with 0 and colon 0 because very first execution was done, but we did not get the chance for the next execution. The loop will run at most once. So you can see here a warning again, the loop incremented was never executed, because as soon as the break was triggered, we just terminated the whole loop. We did not care if the condition is fulfilled or not, or if increment statement is needed to be triggered or not. No, nothing like that. We just break out of this particular for loop. So this was break statement, and it works with similar way for the do while and while loop also. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to have an example of the goto statement. I love the goto statement. Okay, and for that I'm going to just write print 22 and slash n, and after that I'm also going to specify a label, label, and the label name will be 1. Okay, then my label name is label 1. Okay, and it follows the same naming convention as the convention of the variables. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to write if I is less than 3, then go to label 1. Okay, so I'm also going to declare int I equals to 0, and I'm also going to do plus plus I. Okay, so let's see what we have as an output. Oh, so I have forgotten. Okay, so things are going to work now. Let's just run the program. Let's see what we have as an output. So we printed 22 3 times, and why is so? Just let's print I instead of 22, and let's see what we have as an output. So we have, okay, that was a silly mistake, percentage %d and I. Let's run the program now. So we have 0 1 and 2. So first of all, I was 0, and then it get printed out, and then it was incremented to 1, and the condition was true. That is why goto statement was triggered, and we jumped to the particular label. And after jumping to the label, we printed the value of I, which was 1, and after that it became 2, and so on. As soon as it became 3, and then this condition was not satisfied, so goto statement was never triggered. So goto statements can be used with if else, and can be used as a loop. You can see in here we used goto statement as a loop, but it is not at all advisable. You can write it down, you can pen it down, that you should never use goto statement, because it is never advisable to use goto statement, because they reduce the readability of the code. In some conditions, when you will be writing a code of maybe 100 or 200 lines, you won't be able to find the labels where I have written the label where this goto statement is going to. So that is why goto statements are not preferable or not advisable to use. So this was all about this unit and flow of control. So see you in the very next unit. Tab tak ke liye, bye bye, tata.